welcome to the Women's Marketing Club. I am Laura Blacklaws and I am co-founder of this brand new and original concept that we've launched here in the UK. On the podcast with me today is Tanja, an incredibly inspiring female in business who, like a lot of you, was in a full-time job, pursuing a career that she loved, but life had other plans for her. Tanja and her husband, Paul, who are in business together now, they both have a real passion for health and fitness, which has led to their lives that they live now, but it hasn't been easy. Tanja worked for Devon and Cornwall Constabulary for around about 8 years until she was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder in 2014. And that led to her actually resigning in the October of that same year and waving goodbye to a career that she had always wanted and had worked really hard for. Tanja was already a part-time Pilates teacher and soon realised that not only was it a great career path for her, but actually it was so much more than that. It was helped her cope, helped her recover. And in May 2015, applied for planning permission to open her own studio. And in July of the same year, in 2015, launched Teign Fitness. So a rocky journey. Tanja, obviously that was a kind of short introduction to you and your past, but is there anything else you'd like to let our listeners know about your journey?
Yes, at the same time, my husband had got made redundant. So we were kind of at what are we going to do? And it was either we're going to make it happen now or we would have to go and find jobs. And there was a lot of financial strain on us. There was, we nearly lost our house. Yes, it was a very challenging time, but I look back now and I'm thinking, I don't know how I did it. So, yeah, it was frightening, but really bad.
No, of course. And I mean, I guess for a lot of people who are kind of in the corporate world and are then faced with kind of problems in their personal lives, it can often be that crossroads of, do I carry on doing what I'm doing, what I know, what I'm comfortable with, or do I make that change? And I suppose for you, that decision was made for you.
Yeah, I look back now and I think if I didn't have PTSD, would I still be in the job? And I probably would have never had the guts to leave and pursue this career full time. So yes, while I was going through PTSD, it wasn't the best. But now that I'm at the other end, I think that was actually a really big gift from the universe because it's allowed me to do what I really love doing. So I have to be thankful.
Absolutely. No, for sure. And I think as well, for a lot of business women, in their career, whether they've set up on their own or they're in a partnership, is you do sometimes have to look back and just be grateful actually for the cards that you've been dealt. Without adversity, sometimes we wouldn't change.
No. And it's very easy to stay in, even relationships. It's very easy to stay where it's comfortable. You might not be happy, but there's a difference between being happy and comfortable. And it is a very easy choice to stay there. So sometimes we do have to do what's scary and step outside of the comfort zone, so to speak.
Definitely. And obviously it was something that you've already thought of because you were teaching Pilates part-time anyway, weren't you?
Yeah, we had an idea that maybe in a few years, maybe 10 years on, I'd give up the police and then start this, but that came sooner than expected.
Would you say that anything actually inspired you to set up the business part-time to then eventually take it full-time? Or was it just circumstantial that you started to teach Pilates on the side?
I think I wanted to reduce my hours in the police. As you can appreciate, the shifts, they are quite hard. And although I love the police, it was it's very draining emotionally and physically, etc. like that. So kind of wanted to reduce the hours, but didn't want to leave permanently. And my husband's background, although he was also in the police, he was also trained as a sports massage therapist.
Oh.
Was doing a bit of sports massage on the side and found that a lot of the clients needed Pilates. And there was such a big gap in the market where we are because there was no other proper Pilates studios where, you'd have postural assessments done and personal private Pilates. So that's the actual reason I came into it thinking there's a gap in the market and these people really do need some help.
No, and that's brilliant. And I guess in a way it's entrepreneurial that you could see that there was a gap.
Yeah. I mean, originally when I first started, I was like, oh, I can't teach a whole class of people. I was quite frightened to think I'm going to stand up in front of people and talk.
Yeah, of course.
But now, Paul also did his training as well, and he teaches more private clients. But I love the classes. So where I was so scared to stand up in front of a group of people to teach, now I just thrive on that group environment. I absolutely love it. What we fear is actually something we turn out really loving.
Absolutely. And a lot of the time the fear is actually the unknown. So having the opportunity to try something that you're unsure of, but actually, you now love it. It's now it's your business, it's your career.
We fear of the possibility, but that the fear actually never happens, does it?
No.
What we fear never really happens. If you look back in your life at all the things you were scared of, did they really happen the way you thought they were going to happen? No.
Absolutely not. With respect to that, is there any advice that you wish you'd have been given before you set up the studio, or is there anything that you'd actually like to share with our listeners that you've learned along the way?
I suppose for me the biggest thing is asking for help. People can often see that as a weakness when you ask for help. But in two aspects, I took on a business coach who I would have never achieved what I have achieved without that guidance, because I didn't know anything about business, setting up a business, and I don't even know what a website is when I first started. And then the other aspect is asking for help by getting people to take on some jobs for you. So I have now a virtual assistant. She lives in London, I live in Devon. She deals with all my emails and admin, and I've taken on someone to do all my Facebook advertising, because it's just something that I find takes my energy away from doing things that I really love to do. So asking for help, I would say, is one of the biggest things.
I must admit, for my own journey and my own business, that's something I've only come to terms with as being okay, like in the last year. Because before that, it was like, no, I'm on my own.
I can do it all.
Yeah, I've got this. I don't need any help. And you soon realise that, hold on, actually, not being able to do it all isn't a negative.
No. And it's like, why would you want to do stuff that you don't really enjoy doing when you can give it to somebody else to do? And that person might enjoy doing it and do it 10 times better than you, which is good for your business.
Absolutely. And like you say, you're now able to spend more time focusing on teaching. That's your passion.
Yeah. And I love doing it. It's not really work.
Yeah. That always helps. What would you say has been the best thing about setting up your own business?
It's the freedom it's not necessarily do what I want when I want, because I have commitments to my classes and stuff, but it's not having to ask for annual leave.
Yeah.
And not having to explain anything to anybody. So if I want a weekend off, providing I can get covered for my classes, I'll have a weekend off, but I don't need to ask permission. So I suppose it's the freedom, and to also have the opportunity to create the business around the way I would choose to live my life. So our business works around the way we want to live our life. So we're not a slave to our business, because that's a very, it's easy to do that, is have the business run you.
Well, that's what we're conditioned to believe, isn't it? That you go to work and you work X amount of hours and you come home and then it's your time. But when you set up your own business, that's kind of the complete opposite to what you want to achieve.
Exactly. Yeah. And I see it in a lot of, because I generally work with a lot of fitness professionals as well. You know, they're working 15 hours a day teaching 600 people and they're exhausted when they get home. It's like, well, why are you running your business? Apart from wanting to help people, it's for your own life. So we know we teach in the morning, we teach in the evenings, because we love to go mountain biking, we love to go kayaking, and we've got dogs that we want to take out. So we create space during the day to go and do those things every day. When it comes to the evening, we're energized, we're ready for our clients again. So the business is built around the way we want to live.
That's fantastic. And actually, I did do a podcast recently with a lady called Claire Humphreys, who it was all about self-care. When you stop being busy, work then finds you, because you're in a better space.
Yes, you are less stressed, so you cope with challenges that come up easier, more positively. Yeah, I just love it.
Oh, brilliant. Are there any books that you've read that have helped you along the way, or any influencers who you follow that you think would really benefit our listeners?
There's one book in particular which is called Oversubscribed by Daniel Presley. We call that our Bible. You know, we've got it on Audible. We have the actual book. So especially if you're service industry, I suppose it would help for anybody really, but this just goes into the not psychology, but how to treat your clients as celebrities. So it's how can you make them feel really special? How can you how can you look after them? If you have a really good client base, they will sell your business for you rather than you always having to try and find new clients, because you and I both know finding new clients is harder than looking after the ones that you've got. So after reading that book, it's like, well, what can we do to make our clients feel more special? So simple things like, after the Pilates classes, they have tea, coffee with us, and it's all complimentary. We send them birthday cards, we send them anniversary cards, just small little things, just to know, so they know that we're thinking about them. If they're going through a hard time, we might send them we're thinking of you card, or small little things like that just make them feel loved and cared for.
And that's, I think, the beauty of when you run your own business is that there aren't any set rules. You set the rules. So that helps you and Paul be really authentic, and you're building a business how you want to be treated as people. So how you want to make other people feel.
Yeah. And I love thinking like, what can I do to make the clients a little bit happier today? Or, sometimes we'll put different smelling essential oils on the cushions for the yoga and the Pilates. Just, any small little things that we can do that makes them a little treat.
I love that. And it helps, doesn't it? And it makes your clients remember you.
Yeah. So that's oversubscribed by Daniel Presley. We call that our Bible. We always go back to it.
Well, I know I'm definitely going to go and order a copy as soon as we finish the podcast. So thank you for sharing that one with us. Do you have any other advice that you would give to listeners? Because with your business, I guess you've actually turned a difficult situation actually into a business. You've taken ill health and turned it on its back and created a business. I mean, is that something that you would suggest to other business women, to kind of take a passion and turn it into a business?
Yes, definitely. Because I just think if you, and I made a little joke about it. It's like, if I say to my husband, I've got to go to work, he'll laugh and he goes, you don't work. So to never have to wake up and technically work, because I love what I do, and even the little bits of the business that I don't quite like doing, I still don't see it as work, because I'm working towards something that's benefiting me. I suppose this might sound a bit funny, but we're big Arnold Schwarzenegger fans. Talks about the 6 rules of success. So number 1 is trust yourself. Yeah. Trust what is going on inside you, and don't let other people try and persuade you from what you feel is your authentic you, because it doesn't work. I've been there. So break some of the rules. Like as a Pilates studio, not many will do memberships. We only offer memberships. We don't do pay as you go. So our clients are more committed. They get better results. Don't be afraid to fail. And ignore the naysayers. You're going to get people that put your ideas down, that think they know better than you. Don't even bother listening to them. Work hard and give something back. So we always try and do something for charity as well. So I've built the business around those 6 rules, and so far they're working.
No, it's fantastic, and it's really great actually to hear how passionate you are about your business, but also your clients. And you understand that without the clients, you don't have a business.
No, we are so lucky with our clients. We have such a laugh in the studio, and I couldn't be more grateful and thankful for what we have, what I get to do every day. The clients make it.
So it's been a really inspiring podcast so far, Tanja. So thank you so much for your time today. Now, your business is based in Devon, so a lot of our listeners may not be able to come and experience the studio themselves. But if they did want to get in touch to maybe ask some questions about your background or your business going forward, or just kind of see you as a coach or a mentor, how could they get in touch with you?
First of all, thank you so much for asking me. I feel really honoured.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's great to have an opportunity to, I use the word inspire so loosely, but to make people realise that your life is what you make of it, and there's such an awesome life waiting for all of us. We just have to grab it with 2 hands. And it is achievable. So if anybody does want to ask any more questions, it's Tanja Foy, so that's TANJAFOY @gmail.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time out today. And I'm sure all of our listeners will be able to resonate with your story and, feel empowered that you can create a business from difficult times in your life.